Welcome to Gnyp Gnop. Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is for you. I am Greg Gnyp.
Good for you.
I'm the Gnyp guy. That's Chris Usinski. He will take
Cheers,
he will play the part of Gnop today.
Yes, I will.
Every week. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Today is my my 53rd birthday.
Wait a minute. Wait, today is?
Today's it. Oh, but thanks for remembering, Greg.
Oh my goodness, it is October 20th. Well, happy
Jesus
birthday, my
Christmas.
friend.
Yeah, whatever. We're such great friends.
Jeez, oh man. That's crazy. Well, now I feel terrible.
There you go. End the show. Here we go.
All right, that's it. I'm out. Goodbye.
All right. We're the fuck out of here. That's what we are.
Okay, well.
All right, sorry.
Good thing Well, see, I always know that your birthday's... Wow, I feel like a piece of poop now.
Don't worry about it. I knew that
let's talk about being an asshole. I'll tell you about being an asshole.
Oh, your proctologist is coming on today.
I was going to say, well, no, actually, being an asshole actually ties into my my first topic of the day, the joys of telemarketers.
All right.
So, I mean, you get hit with them, all right? Do you get the phone calls?
You know what? I had the most bizarre one earlier today. It actually we actually have a home phone. It's not wired. It's through Rogers, but it still there's like a home phone that we've had for a million years. And we got this really bizarre phone call of, hey, we're setting up appointments for someone to come and do your environmental check of your HVAC system. And I'm like, what? Who? Why? And then eventually just kind of got rid of the guy, but it was really, really bizarre.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? So a couple of days ago,
yes,
I got the phone call saying that the immigration was coming after me.
Oh, nice,
right?
Yeah.
So I said, now it's because I failed to pay some sort of fine. So I have a fine somewhere.
Ooh.
So I was bored, so I hit the one to talk to an agent. And, first of all, when you're in trouble when you hear, and it's a big call center.
Yeah.
So right away, you know that you're not in any trouble.
Oh.
So, but I thought I'd have fun.
A boiler room.
So the woman was asking me, it was telling me that the trouble I was in. And I said, well, where is this happening? And she said, well, it's happened in the United States. And I said, well, when did I get this fine? And she said, she gave the date. And I went, okay. And I said, well, where, and she basically thought I was living in the States. The fine was in the States. So I said to her,
right.
I said, so she asked me what my address was. And I said, it was 666 You're a scam. And she went, and so she got a little bit upset with me. And I said, listen, it was a good try, but you're busted. Thanks for the fun. I hope you have a great day. And that's exactly what I said. Something got under her skin. And for the next 10 minutes, every 20 seconds, she called back and she would be like, fuck you, click. It was awesome. So I was getting yelled at by the telemarketer. It was brilliant.
Oh man, that's
you've done good if you get under their skin.
Yeah. The best play, I think, if you're a family at home, and it's inevitably it always happens around dinner time. And somebody calls and you got young kids, and I'm thinking somewhere in the ages of maybe 3, maybe 4. And all of a sudden you get that phone call, whether they remember used to be selling cruises, you've won a cruise, also the bullshit, right? The best thing to do is, oh, really? Hang on a second. And I would give the phone to the 3-year-old.
And tell them that it's Santa.
There you go.
Santa.
Have a nice conversation.
Yeah, and that's the part though that gets me about all this stuff, because to me it's just funny because I'm always like, and I just don't understand how you fall for some of these things.
I gotta tell you, here's my biggest issue with it. There's so much effort and technology and time that goes into it. Couldn't you put your efforts into something more positive? And I'm not talking about like solving world hunger and stuff like that, but I'm talking about like maybe just building something and selling that instead of just trying to scam people out of their, their credit card or, oh my God, it just goes on and
Well,
on.
well, and there, but so now on YouTube, there's this whole industry on YouTube of people scamming the scammers.
Right. And we have lost Greg Gnip. I noticed his connection was getting a little weak there. And anyway, scamming the scammers, we are. This is a live show, so people need to understand that live things happen all the time. If anyone cares to wonder, I am drinking a product from Job Site Brewery, really cool brewery up in Stratford, Ontario. They're Blackberry Plum, and it's a fermented malted drink, but yeah, it's a hard seltzer. It's really good. I'm just telling everybody. I'm telling everybody what I'm drinking since you decided to go answer the door or whatever.
Well, I was gonna say, I believe actually the scammers just got me. So, oh yeah, you're gonna do your show?
Yeah.
Zoink.
Yeah, there you go.
See, okay. So I'm being a good boy. I'm actually just drinking some flavored water from President's Choice.
Well, mine's flavored water, but it's just got alcohol in it.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that I was going to have a drink today, but then I'm like, well, I've got some things I have to do. I have to be semi-mature. And the last thing is I need to, before I, go back and do all my mature stuff, being drunk on the let me tell you about things like that.
It's so true, Greg. And I think what's really funny today is I was looking at the numbers for Michigan, and Michigan's still doing over 3,000 cases a day in their COVID count. And I'm going, wow, but everything's just wide open. 100% overdrive. Let's go. So.
Yeah, I you know what? As much as I hate saying this, I kind of like the slow and steady way we've been doing this. I'm fine with it. I'm good. And I said, you know what, the one thing though that I've realized about all of this, I'm a really good loner.
Mm.
I'm actually pretty good. I can sit at home. I can watch a football game by myself. I can watch. I said I've been decorating my house for Halloween.
There you go.
And then people are like, well, why would you decorate your house for Halloween? You're not having any guests over or anything like that. And I'm like, but it's fun. Are you a Halloween guy?
Yeah. It's a really big holiday around the house. So yeah, we have Halloween lights and skeletons and all this stuff. And Halloween is kind of a rite of passage out here in the neighborhood where we used to hand out shots to all the parents as they're bringing their kids up. So now we just hand out little bottles of whiskey to keep it COVID safe. But yeah, we're still going to plan on doing that this year. But yeah, it's such a wonderful neighborhood to do it in. There's lots of families and it's always a lot of fun because it's kind of like the precursor to getting your Christmas stuff out.
Yeah. See, one of the things that I like about my neighborhood is we have a lot of immigrants.
Okay.
And it's such a cool thing because you look at some of these kids and it's like, oh my God, where did you you just came from, say, perhaps a war-torn country. Maybe there was a tank rumbling down your street 12 months to the day you're getting candy on my porch. And you see the look on their faces and the excitement and the happiness and the joy they're getting. And it's like, it's just such a nice, it's good. It's like, that's why when you see people say, we've got enough immigrants, and it's like, no, you see all this and you're just like, it's like, we can do more. It's because there was a family we had, it was two, little boy, little girl, mom, dad, one of the sets of grandparents, and then a little girl being pushed in a stroller. And they came up so polite and very quiet and very meek. And, I said, come on, you got to say it a little louder. Okay, took a treat. And I'm like, a little louder. And the father says something and they kind of yell it. And I went, there you go. And I took a handful of candy and I put it into their bags. And they were like, so, they said, thank you. And I said, hold on a second. And I grabbed some candy and I put it in front of the little girl. And I mean, she was probably 8 months old, 6 months old, couldn't eat it, but she had little cat ears on.
Yep.
And the father was like, in very broken English, saying, she's too young, she can't eat it. And I joked and I smiled and I pointed at him, his wife, and the two grandparents. And I went, but you guys can eat it.
Sure.
And he was so excited. And it was just like, it was just such a cool thing. It's like, you see, like, that's what I love about Halloween. You see parents out pushing their kids. And, in the downtown, you get to see a lot of, new people to Canada learning this tradition and having fun and kind of like seeing the kids, be kids. It's I don't know. Halloween. I spend way too much money on candy and sugar for people on in my block.
And how many kids do you get?
The most I've ever had here is about 185.
Wow, we get like 6.
Yeah, we had about 185 kids. But then the one year though, do you remember a couple of years ago when it was that crazy storming weather and the snow and the sleet and all that kind of stuff? I mean, we only had about 25 kids, and I think each kid walked away from my house with 5 pounds of chocolate. They were like, we love you. And I'm like, it's better you get it than me because, diabetes.
Yeah, there's not very many kids here. I'm sure there's maybe 20 or maybe under 30 for sure. So it's kind of like they just get full-size chocolate bars and away they go, right? Because they've made the effort of going here because most of my neighbors are Americans.
Oh, okay.
Right, and really after Labor Day, they're all gone. So
right
until the following year will we see them. So
yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
That's all good though.
Keeps it nice and quiet.
All right, but now do you have any like Halloween movies that you have to watch?
Yeah, no, I'm not a spooky movie guy. Don't like them at all. I think the last one I really saw was kind of Candyman and went like, okay. Not for me. I just don't appreciate the genre. I do appreciate suspense, but like the slasher kind of horror movie stuff. No thanks.
Yeah. See, for me, I love them. I do, but I tend to really like the bad B movie type styles. I Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. One of the more modern ones, like Eight-Legged Freaks, that came out a couple of years ago. Just stuff like that. I mean, but I do have to be honest. I do like some of the really, the real slasher ones. Like, every year I have to watch the remake of The Hills Have Eyes because it's just that twisted.
The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, the original one was back in, I want to say, the 70s, and then it was remade.
Right.
It was remade around, I think, 2005, 2006, and it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I'm not one for it. My wife does. She enjoys it very much.
Well, then maybe I'll come over and visit your wife.
There you go. Cheers to that.
There you go. Chris, you can have a night free. Deborah, I'm coming to see you.
Yeah, or there you go. But no, sorry, Greg. I'm not.
They're not for everybody. No. I mean, that's the thing. Now, actually, I got to say, you sent out a playlist.
Yeah.
Now, who did that? Was that Deborah who did it?
Yeah. So years ago, we had a race called Zombie Chase, and it was on the waterfront. We did it Thanksgiving weekend because everybody wants to get away from their family. So on Saturday night, they can do the Zombie Chase right at dusk on the waterfront in Windsor, and it was beautiful. Just a beautiful event. People get all dressed up, and it's a 5K and in and out. And so we'd have speakers along the course and different kind of, toxic waste spills and all this really neat stuff along the course. And so there's a soundtrack that kind of plays along for that time. So she's been curating this playlist that we posted on Facebook under the Gnyp Gnop page, and it takes you to a Spotify page. So we convert it to Spotify. And in that conversion, you lose some music, right? Because there's some music that's not available on Spotify. But for 8.5 hours is what it's worth. It's a great, Halloween's coming up next Sunday. Just turn it on, and just listen to it. It has this kind of meandering theme of, grotesqueness and, it's cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's like, and it's funny because it's my brother-in-law has Sonos. He bought like one of those. He
Yeah.
got one of the nice big speakers, and they give him the Sonos radio stations. And there's actually a Halloween radio station, but it's kind of funny with them. They're doing stuff where even if there's like the word witch in the title of the the band or whatever, that counts as a Halloween song. So sometimes you hear this happy poppy song and you're like, well, what does that have to do with
Right.
Halloween? And meanwhile the band's like called Black Witch or something like that, and you're like, I see how they're doing it.
Yeah, so like this would be like Sisters of Mercy. It'd be some more of the gothic music plus the stuff like some of the other more rocky stuff, but it's more it'll have like devil in in the theme or something evil in the theme, and it's a great soundtrack. It's really good. She's done a great job for years on it and adding to it, and I hope other people enjoy it.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. Like that's actually going to be the one that I listen to while I hand out candy on next week, because I sit on my front porch and have a couple of cocktails, and I just sit out there. I've got my speakers are playing and all the lights are on and all that kind of stuff, and I just sit outside and hand out candy. And I like hopefully let's just take a quick look. Let's do that. Paul, it would be nice if Paul Gross was here right now. But we're looking at so for Halloween next week, we're looking at 55 degrees and sunny.
I thought maybe you're like thinking Paul Gross would be nice because he's such an exciting guest to have.
Well, that would be too. Hey, Paul, tell us about this. All right, no, he's but it's like, I mean, I just think about some of the times for Halloween growing up, putting the costume on and then putting basically like your ski suit on and a raincoat.
Yeah.
Because it would be so cold, but you went out anyways.
Yeah.
Am I keeping you awake there, buddy?
Yeah. You know what it is? It's also reminiscent of that stupid plastic mask with a little white elastic going around your ears. I hated those masks as a kid.
Oh, see, we were never allowed those.
No, it's against your religion.
Well, or my parents were cheap. My mother would be like, "No, we're gonna make you," and she'd always paint stuff on our faces.
Really?
Oh yeah. My mom would, or my sister would help out too, and we would always get like the makeup put on and things like that.
And did your mom take like who took you out? Your mom or your dad?
Usually my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, usually my mom, or because and it was kind of funny because growing up in South Windsor back then, there was a ton of kids, and I said I remember some of the neighbors. There would be I still really close neighbors. I still remember we were the last house that the men came to for trick or shot.
Right.
And there was like 5 or 6 of these neighbors just hammered on our front lawn. It's like, oh, you guys it's going to be a mess to get you guys home. But, you remember those things growing up, your drunk neighbors and, dressing up. But I said, one of my favorites was when I was DJing at Faces on College years ago, right? So I DJ'd there from 84 to 1990 and bartended and waited tables and did stuff there. And one year for their Halloween party, I had come in early, dropped my records off, dropped everything off, and then I went home to get dressed and ready to go. And I had gone and I had purchased this terrible wig, an incredible muumuu. And I like, honest to God, I looked a lot like Divine.
Good God.
Except I wasn't as flamboyant with makeup. I was more like Divine, toned down to like everyday life. And I remember walking in, everybody said hi, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Started walking towards the DJ booth, and one of the doormen was like, "Excuse me, ma'am," and I went, and then when I turned around, they were like, "Oh my God!" I was like such a realistic bingo woman. That I'm like, so if you ever see me dressed up, I'm going to bingo.
Or if you ever make the FBI's 10 Most Wanted, we know what you'll be looking like.
I'm switching to it. I'm switching 100% over to. So, and I figure my if I was to go into drag like that, I figure my name would be Oscar de la Toya Jackson. I figured that would be my favorite drag name, Oscar de la Toya Jackson.
There you go. So anyway, Halloween is next week.
Yep.
I know on the next couple of weeks in different shows, I know we've been talking to the Northern Pikes, 5440, a couple of our old friends coming on the show over the next number of weeks, and we'll take it from there.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah. It'd been really nice to catch up.
I know it's been a long time because I know with the Northern Pikes, I know Jay's has had some eye surgeries and things like that. We'll talk to him about his health and things like that.
Yeah. And Don Schmidt, the drummer, was an old friend of ours. So there's all kinds of news, and they're still playing. They're still out there. They just finished a tour not too long ago, and I think starting up a new tour within the next I think beginning of next year. So they've got some news to talk about.
It just sounds so good when you can say they've got a tour that just finished and a tour just starting. It makes me feel like there's
hope.
There's hope. I like that hope.
There's hope. Who knows?
It's all good, buddy.
You bet, man.
Well, listen, go have a drink.
For what?
Your birthday.
Oh, it's my birthday? Shit, I didn't know that.
Jackass.
All the best, man. All the best. We'll see you next week.
Ya.
See you. Love you too.